Once a Bison, always a Bison. Until I was gone, I didn't fully comprehend what that meant. Recently, I am reminded of it every day. The green and the gold. Enthusiastic fan bases and communities. That Midwest weather. Having championship expectations. Regional rivalries.
The rivalry is intense, and it opens the next chapter today. Run from him.
My team, we work hard all year. For it to come through like this is awesome.
Welcome back to Bison Overtime with your co-host Logan, all the way on the other side of this big bed.
I'm in the short chair today, man. I feel like a little tyke sitting at the family Thanksgiving table. I mean, I feel vertically challenged.
How's the kids table over there?
It's great, you know. We're having a good time debating about Clash Royale tactics over here in the kids' table.
You want to play it with mashed potatoes? No
yeah,
turkey.
mashed
it's too grown
potato.
up.
No, I don't. I need the food separate. All right, no cranberry sauce. I'm not into that yet. I'll take extra pie though. The kids' table, and we're joined by the man himself,
the myth, the legend.
What's up?
Seawalk, some guy who likes hockey.
I was dragged off the street in a hockey jersey, and I'm here now. So,
born too early to play hockey, but not too late to have a mullet.
Yep. That's
pretty fresh.
Seawalk.
Pretty fresh.
Do we want to talk about Fargo Forest being in the playoffs while we're in hockey-related sports?
I can touch on the hockey stuff.
All right.
We'll touch on that later. How about we start the open where we always do with
Bison
Overtime.
Sports. Bum, bum, bum. Starting with men's baseball. Wait.
Men's baseball? Just baseball?
I was thinking about basketball, and then I was like, men's? No men's.
He's not off to a good start, is he?
It happens.
Going into baseball, you know, we didn't take a win against Minnesota. They destroyed us 3-11. I don't know what happened to our bats, but their bats were going. And then we also took a back-to-back loss to Northern Colorado, 12-13.
Scoring fast, but you just can't get the last runs.
I know, right? We could not cap it off. And then, but we did end up winning and beating Northern Colorado 3-2 and 11-4.
Came back, won the series.
Bang,
Love to see it.
Huge,
you know,
huge
you give up
dubs.
13 runs and you rally, and you'll give up 6 the next 2 games.
Yep.
That was the definition of.
However, the softball team did not rally.
Got swept by our arch rival, SDSU.
0-1 to kick it off. 1-7, and then 0-3 on Sunday. So a combined 1 run in 3 games will not win you any games.
Nope.
Hockey, baseball, maybe soccer. But you won't win very much. You only score 1 run.
I think soccer is probably the only example that you could probably give where you could score 1 and
still
maybe
win.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
your fans would still be very happy you scored.
Yeah, we scored a goal. Ah!
And then, of course, we had to highlight women's golf. They took first at the Stampede at the Creek out of 10 teams there.
Bang,
Big bang. Love
Big
that.
dubs.
Track and field was active in 2 meets, but the results are a little bit weird. The results page is kind of messed up. Track and field results aren't the cleanest, but I know the women did very well at the Long Beach invite, so good weekend if you're any sport except for softball, basically.
Yep.
It's kind of how it goes. Kind of in that calm part of the year, though, where it's like end of the year, mid-April.
Not a lot of things
Not a lot of things going on.
Nope, not a lot of things
Seasons are going to wrap
April.
up pretty quick, so.
Yep.
That is true. That's very true.
I'm going to take a look at our recap of taking first in Omaha.
Yeah. College sports as a whole, it's kind of that weird transition period where you have like college baseball and softball in the limelight right now. Obviously, you have the draft 10 days away, basically, at this point.
Countdown to the
10 days.
draft, baby.
Just like that. We had the other draft last night that was on TV, WNBA draft, which, fun fact, I wanted to watch it, and it was only in Spanish. the English stream did not work. I kept clicking it, didn't work.
You also had Caitlin
subtitles
Clark.
on.
So yeah, I just had to hear the Spanish commentary over Caitlin Clark going first, and I muted it because I couldn't stand it.
That's all you want to know.
As soon as Angel Reese was drafted, I clicked out of the draft.
Where did she go?
She went like
I think
7th or
seventh
8th
to
to
Chicago.
Yeah. She went with Cordoso, I think, to Chicago.
Yeah, I believe so.
I remember right.
Arch rivals, South Carolina, LSU on the same team. How's that going to work out?
Yeesh.
We
Could
don't
be-
know.
could be interesting.
We could know.
Yeah, we could know.
We could know.
Yeah, after that, I was like, I don't know any of these names. I clicked off. I was like, I couldn't tell you if they did like 30
Angel
picks,
Reese.
300
Oh,
picks.
no
I
more-
was done
no
after
more-
7.
No more Tingus Pingus? No
Tingus
Tingus Pingus in the WNBA draft?
No.
No Tingus Pingus in the WNBA draft?
What team is that?
No,
That's Chicago.
Oh.
that is Chicago.
This guy.
I was surprised that she went to 7 for how much noise she likes to make.
Yep.
But who else was it? It was Brink was 2. Brink was insane.
Brink and.
If it wasn't for Clark, I think Brink probably would have been the most highlighted player.
For sure.
She had like this crazy, like 100-something free throw streak or whatever
Jeez.
at one point in her career.
That is pretty good.
She won like Pac-12 a whole bunch, All-American. So there's talent. I mean, if you're the WNBA, you have talent. You now have the spotlight from players like Clark and Reese.
Yep.
If you mess it up,
It's
it's
on
on
you.
you. It's
No,
not on us.
did you see Caitlin Clark's contract? Her rookie contract? It was garbage. It's
3 years, 20,000.
No, 4 years, 300,000.
That's about right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why the sport's not pop. Well, that's the thing. They don't make any money. How are you going to pay anyone if you don't make any money?
I mean,
Simple economics. If you lose $10 million a year, you
if
can't
you lose
pay
$10
$10
million a
million.
year, you can't pay 10 million.
No.
That's very true.
I mean, your typical office guy can make as much money as Caitlin Clark.
Honestly, I'm convinced that the WNBA is going to screw this up because they've had big names in the past and they've screwed it up. Brittany Griner was supposed to like take the whole league off. They screwed that up.
Well, she
now
was
she's
a
most
big name
famous for
in the Russian prison league.
yeah. Now she's the
Russian
most
prison.
famous for being taken from a Russian prison. They had Lisa Leslie. That kind of got screwed up. Like, they had names over the past.
They have had plenty of names. They had a
So-
team go back to back to back to back when they first started, and they're no longer a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's rough. If Caitlin Clark doesn't revive the WNBA, either because the WNBA screws it up, or because of some other reason, you got no reason to blame anyone but yourself. You're a failure as a league if you mess this up. This is the golden opportunity. You've been in a league for 30 years.
You have your
This isn't a 5-year league. This is a 30-year-old league that hasn't really made money. You finally have like your LeBron James. This is your big name.
You have your Patrick Mahomes of the WNBA.
Not Patrick. Patrick wasn't that big of a name coming out.
Or Tom Brady. You
This
have
is-
your Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes.
no, this is
in the spirit
LeBron.
of hockey.
This is
LeBron
LeBron.
James.
My sunshine.
No, I think she's a bigger name. This is LeBron for the women's side of basketball. That's what it is. You
Or
have
Michael
all the
Jordan.
you have all the pre-draft hype. Everybody knows who it is. I mean, Michael had hype, but he didn't have like.
It's the
LeBron
consensus
level.
number one. Everyone knows if you get that number one pick, that's who you're taking. Shout out.
No, the question
2023
is,
Chicago Blackhawks.
the question is Caitlin Clark going to be LeBron or is she going to be the Zion of like women's? Because like, she can either go off and elevate the sport or just like
Anthony Bennett.
disappoint. Yeah, basically be Anthony Bennett.
Disappoint him.
So
Yep.
it'll be interesting. And then Frozen 4.
Frozen
Your
Four,
thoughts?
that's
Frozen
college hockey
Four.
right there. So we'd like to give congratulations to the Denver University Pioneers. Should we say
Tremendous.
Denver? They just won their 10th NCAA Division I Ice Hockey Championship. I believe they beat Boston College,
Yes,
who
they did.
has
Boston. Was it Boston College? Or
I believe it was
University?
Boston College.
It was
They
Boston
have-
College.
I know they played Boston University earlier.
Well, yeah, they did play.
It
I
was
believe-
Boston College that they
yeah,
beat.
they beat Boston College in the finals.
Too many Bostons.
There are a lot of Bostons. You're not wrong on that. There's once you also add like UMass and Harvard into that mix. There's a lot of a lot of
Isn't
hockey schools
Dartmouth
in
like
that.
Massachusetts area?
That's in New Hampshire.
Close. It's all the same.
Boston
Coast.
College, tough. It was a 2-0 loss. And they have top draft prospect Macklin Celebrini projected to, if the draft lottery goes right, projected to go to the San Jose Sharks.
Sharks.
That's a tough move. You're sticking a player in a market like San Jose. When you can put him in Chicago, had that Bedard Celebrini connection, and the league is trembling for 15 years.
No, more like the Blackhawks win 30 games next year instead of 20.
Oh, whoop-de-doo, yeah.
And they slowly work their way back because if I remember right, hockey is not a two-man game.
It is not a two-man
It's
game.
more like a 20-man game.
Oh, it's not a two-man game at all. But when you look at the Blackhawks prospect system, it is depth. It is deeper than deep in the ground, 6 feet underground. It's like maybe 40 feet underground. You dig a 6-foot hole, how deep is it? Probably like 20 feet. That's the Blackhawks prospect system.
So why'd they suck so much this year?
Yeah.
You guys just never bring anyone up?
cannot.
Dude, we brought up so many people. We
Yeah.
brought up so many
You know
people.
what's crazy? I don't think anyone noticed because
Yeah,
the talent
what?
didn't change at all.
Yeah, the Blackhawks were basically an AHL roster, and there were times they were an ECHL roster. And
What about
somehow managed to,
QMJHL roster?
oh, you mean major juniors?
Maybe.
There were honestly times that the Fargo Force could have beaten the Chicago Blackhawks, coming from a diehard fan.
Yeesh. I mean, I do want to give a shout out to UND for choking in the first round of the.
Didn't the
Frozen
Force have
Four.
a former player go off for Denver and like
They
score the
did.
game winner against Boston?
Tristan Brose in the semifinals to send
Denver
Denver. Whoops. To send Denver to the national championship.
screwed it
Without
up.
Tristan Brose.
Told you, too many Bostons.
Exactly.
Boston.
Too many
Too many
Bostons.
Bostons.
Too many
Yeah,
Bostons.
they did play Boston University in the.
Too many
Final Four.
Bostons in the hockey.
And then they played Boston College.
Too many Bostons in the hockey, just
Too many
like too many
Bostons.
Dunkin' Donuts in Boston. You ever go to
Okay,
Boston?
Dunkin'
There's like-
Donuts. Okay, but
there's like
Dunkin' Donuts is
8.
actually good.
There's like 8.
Well, yeah, it's like Tim
18.
Hortons in Canada.
Everywhere I drove, it was a Dunkin' Donuts.
You cannot walk a block
Drunken.
anywhere in Canada without seeing a Tim Hortons.
What's wrong with that?
There is nothing wrong with that.
You know the greatest Canada story I have?
What is the greatest
I went to
Canada story you
Canada one time, and there was a store, and it was just called
Canada,
beer. And that's it.
oh,
There was no Mike's beer, nothing, just beer.
Where in Canada?
I'm trying to think. It was like north of Wisconsin border, so I'm trying to remember where that would have been.
Probably like Ontario.
Yeah, like an hour or so in the border. Just beer. That's it.
Just beer.
Didn't have any title. Just beer. It wasn't like Stay Mart. It wasn't like Happy Harry's. Just an orange store with beer. And let me tell you, it was great. I felt like I was right at home.
That,
It was great.
Yeah, it's
that
like
does
it's,
sound pretty great.
although I was underage at the time, so I couldn't. Go.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a shame.
no underage drinking.
Yeah.
No.
We're watching.
underage.
Nope.
We're
We're
watching you. We're watching you.
And always drink
Always.
responsibly.
Yep.
It's coming from a frat guy. If a frat guy said,
Yeah.
you
What
know
the
it's real.
hell? Sheesh. He's
just got
probably blacked
revoked.
out drunk
You just got
500
revoked
times.
your frat membership for that statement. Let's move to professional sports now. College sports.
NFL. What's up, brother? Welcome back
What's
to
up,
the
brother? Welcome back to
NFL
another
draft?
draft mock, brother.
Yeah.
Texans.
What?
The Texans did not go out and sign another or trade for another
No, they
blockbuster
did
player.
not.
We finally got. I think we're finally done with the crazy trade still draft day.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
don't know.
Everybody and their mother has published mock drafts. There's
So-
5 mock drafts for some of these people.
So you know it's the perfect time for us. To do
No, we're
one.
not doing another
No.
one. We just did one last week. We
2
have this
weeks
guy
ago.
on. This is NHL week, Vinny.
That's right. That's right.
No, but he can help us.
I saw a Twitter source, though, say, I don't know how valid this is because I didn't look at it. They said that they think that the Vikings will trade up for the Patriots' 3 overall pick. Your thoughts, Patriots fan? Would you like giving up
mean-
Drake May
I mean.
for 2 firsts?
Yeah. Give me that 11th pick and then give me that
21st?
21st pick.
Who do you take at 11 then?
JJ McCarthy,
Oh.
baby.
Is it going to last that long?
Do you think they would learn their lesson
And
after
then-
taking Mac Jones the last time? Now
and
they're going to go
then-
for another
No, he's already
unathletic
gone. It's been
QB
3
who is
years.
overachieved.
And then
Vinny, you are falling into the same hole. You are taking a white, unathletic QB who overachieved in his last season with a championship roster and went a long ways.
and
And you're
pair
taking
him
the
up
first round.
with
Am I wrong?
Brian Thomas
Same thing.
Jr.
Same
or
thing.
Xavier Worthy. That would be good. That means we got a quarterback and a wide receiver.
You want to tell him?
No, I'm just gonna look back at you and just to get the message. Sometimes things
Vinny,
don't
your
need to be
team
said.
didn't do enough. Even if you drafted those 2, you're still going to be a 5-win team at best.
We have a good defense. Bills lost to
But you don't have an
Diggs.
offense.
Dolphins choke all the time, and the Jets are just the
Tell me your
Jets.
receiving room right now.
I can't.
Well.
We've been over this. It was like, he's like, we have KJ Osborne. I'm like, and? And that's it.
You can name more of the Patriots wide receiver room than you.
Probably could.
Yeah, probably could have.
KJ
been worse.
Osborne's there. I think Jonu's.
We
I
got
think
Juju.
it's-
We got Demario Douglas. We
You
got
have Juju?
KJ Osborne.
Yeah, that's right. I just remember that.
They brought Juju back. Didn't you have him
I'm pretty
before?
sure they did.
Yep.
Wow, he's washed.
And we got
Notable
Tyron.
TikTok dancer Juju Smith-Schuster.
Hey, we got Jalen Rager too.
Oh yeah, notorious.
If that was like 6 years ago.
notorious trap bust Jalen Rager.
Yep.
The best player you're gonna have.
Oh, you'll love to see it.
Oh, was it Douglas is good.
You
Douglas
got
is good
Jacoby
receiver.
Brissett starting at quarterback.
Yeah, They're taking me at 3. There's no way.
No, we cannot.
Speaking of the AFC East, though, Jalen Waddle got extended. He's getting his option picked up.
Wads.
So you will not be
time.
getting Jalen Waddle anytime soon.
Darn it.
So you will have to wait and actually draft a receiver that's good for once.
No.
They can't do that. I don't know if you knew this.
No, we cannot.
And then my boy Deshaun's back to throwing full speed. Hopefully his shoulder holds up intact for, I don't know, the whole season. Like we
Well,
paid him for it to be.
If it isn't, there's always one place you can go to have his shoulder relax.
What place would that be?
The massage parlor or something.
You said it, not me. I plead the fifth.
There's nothing wrong with massage therapy, Vinny. Why are you laughing?
Oh, nothing except for happy endings in court cases.
I think the Patriots need a happy ending after the last season they had.
Whoa! What do you mean by that?
All I'm saying is
Are
you guys
gonna
had a
give 'em
lot.
happy
You
ending
guys
or
had a
what?
lot of. You guys had a lot of sad endings to your games. You had to watch it be 3-0, 7-0, 12-0, 20-3, and you want to know something? You were all the low-scoring ones. You know this. The Patriots had as many games last year where they had 20-plus points, where they had a touchdown or less.
We counted.
We counted.
We did count
5
it
of each.
on the
There were
show.
5 games where his team scored a touchdown or less, and he wants to talk over there.
Yeah.
Yap.
I am yapping. This is Yapville.
Why
Okay.
don't you go wear a paper bag? Put a paper bag on your head.
This guy's the dictionary definition of brain rot.
Hey, would you know that Tom Brady left that team 3 years ago and they fell apart this fast?
No, it's not a surprise. You
What
got
are
a
you
franchise player.
What is that?
This is my bag. This is my favorite bag.
You had a franchise player in Tom Brady, and then he leaves, and you're like, well, what do we do? And you just
You bring in
you had
Mac
to prepare.
Jones.
You had to prepare for it, but you couldn't prepare.
Hey,
for
look.
it.
The moment that Tom Brady left, we still made the playoffs that year.
It was
Yeah,
that
'cause there was
weird
enough left
7-year
over.
COVID Nickelodeon game. Shout out original MVP Mitch Trubisky.
That's right. MVP.
Mitch.
Go Mitch.
Mitch.
Love you, Mitch. But I don't know what you do. If you're a Patriots fan, I am crying if they take J.J. McCarthy. It is Mac Jones 2.0.
Yep.
And you just watch Mac Jones fail.
Yep.
This team's probably worse than Mac Jones had going his rookie year.
Yes, I know. Okay.
You ready to be the
a team that
Panthers?
doesn't suck
You ready
is
to
the
be the
Eagles.
Panthers of the
And the
AFC?
Eagles extended
The team that doesn't suck is the
Devontae
Eagles.
Smith.
The team that had a 6-game. I'm sorry. Did you watch
the
the last 7
Philadelphia
games?
Whoppers.
Did you watch?
Whopper.
Did you watch any of their games in November, December, or January?
Or even the playoff game against Tampa Bay.
Whopper.
Notable journeyman Baker Mayfield absolutely dismantling the Buccaneers.
Their coach is
What
getting
the
fired. Sirianni's getting fired this year. I'm calling it right now. But
Yeah.
Devonta
They
Smith
did
will
fall
not be
apart.
getting let go anytime soon.
No.
Everyone knows what I meant.
They went
Baker
11-6.
dismantled the Eagles.
Okay. They went
And
11-6.
they got dismantled
I
by
understand that.
Baker
They were the
Mayfield.
I understand.
By Baker Mayfield.
Jordan Love
Let that
dismantled the
sink in.
Cowboys.
There's a sink at the door. Let him in, because you got to let that fact sink in of how Baker Mayfield dismantled the
I
Eagles.
understand, but Baker went to Detroit and put up a decent fight
Yeah,
because he has grit.
yeah, of course he does.
Eagles
I
still
watched
failed.
Baker play for 4 years. Baker's whole shtick is to be undervalued and written off, and then to have some giant campaign where he goes off and he beats all the doubters, and then he falls apart.
But the Eagles
And then he
still-
falls off. I'm telling you right now, I'm not upset that the Browns went and got Watson for instead of Mayfield. Talent-wise, not at all. If you want to play the storyline game, sure, but national headlines don't win games. Playing on the field does.
I mean, another.
You can
name-
write whatever you want in the
Well, Jason
newspaper or
Kelsey's
on the
also
website.
gone. What's
I mean,
also,
another name that was on the headlines was Rishi Rice, and he's being sued for millions
Yeah.
and millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's bad. You got to remember, you hit 6 vehicles involved in the crash.
Yeah.
There's lacerations, there's damages, there's possible broken bones, cramps, all sorts of stuff.
Were we
And
going
then they're
to
going
cramp in a car crash?
whatever it is,
Cramps?
cramps, tears,
Well, that's on you for being dehydrated.
muscle goes ow in car crash.
Shout out my calf.
Yeah,
Muscle's going out.
If people fake a neck injury when they get slightly tapped at the red light, you imagine what happens when they get hit by a car going 120 down the freeway.
You can't just fake. Yeah, no, you fake death. Shout out Dr. White for
Fake
the
death?
Shout out Dr. White for the death
Fake
mention.
Oh, I do have a
Make a
counter.
clear
I do have an
barrier?
active counter on how many times he.
Somebody continue the legacy.
You're welcome. I
I
got
certainly
you.
continued it.
He
He's always
has
won.
mentioned death. Death counter 12 times this semester in one class. I'm not in any other Dr. White's classes, but it's 12.
One time I counted over 30 in a single class.
Over 30 in the class.
Yes.
Man, we got to put.
Multi-million-dollar lawsuit from 2 victims involved in the incident. He's already facing 8 felony charges related.
You mentioned death
Reached
5
speeds of
times.
119 miles an hour just before the crash. Let's see. What are they seeking? They seek a monetary relief over $1 million, of course.
Shocker.
They were caused to suffer severe injuries to their bodies, which include but are not limited to trauma to the brain, lacerations to the face requiring stitches, multiple contusions about the body, disfigurement, internal bleeding, and other internal and external injuries that may only be fully revealed over the course of medical treatment. And then, of course, you could also claim PTSD or trauma. I think trauma's already listed.
Oh, I mean, trauma to the brain, so... Like,
Yeah, trauma to the brain,
Exactly.
emotional trauma, physical trauma. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's pretty much there, you know.
they're going to get their bag.
What
Like,
was
they're
it?
going to win this case.
What was it, 3 years ago?
There's no reason that Rice wins the case.
3 years ago was like, what, notable NASCAR legend Henry Ruggs. Now we got notable NASCAR legend Rishi Rice.
Rishi Rice's story before the crash happened.
No,
That's
Vinny's just being
oh my
Vinny.
God. He's trying to support
Can you see what I
Rishi
have to
Rice.
deal with on this show? You see, I have to be the direction, the arrow pointing forward, and this guy over here gets
Let's
distracted.
put it this way.
You should see him when he has a pen in his hands. Just click, 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 click.
Oh, it's not even
the
play.
whole
He's
time.
probably drumming on the desktop all day.
He just clicks it. The whole time. To the point where we have to, like, throw it across the room.
Yeet.
Throw it across the room like a three-pointer. Let's transition into NBA news.
That's right.
Wow, look at that.
The man himself.
Blake.
Slam Jamming Griffin.
Gone, retired
Mob
after
City
14.
legend.
Kind of
seasons.
crazy, honestly. I feel like he still should be, like, in his 3rd year. I
Yeah.
feel old now.
I feel really old.
Guys that were playing when I was getting into sports are now retiring.
I
In
know.
basketball. Football's one thing. Basketball's another.
Basketball is another.
This is kind of not right.
Oh, yeah, no, you're not wrong. Now, there have been questions saying...
Is this what the old heads feel like?
It's a great question. You know, back in my day,
Back in my day.
Back in my day, let me tell you something. Blake Griffin could throw it down. They had
he
highlight
dunked
reels.
over a Kia.
And you know what we've gotten since? Jaylen Brown dunking over Kyson.
Not sitting down, by the way.
Oh,
So don't even try to compare
Bro
the two.
literally put on a glove and dunked one hand and thought, this is my dunk. I was like, are you kidding?
Hey, shout out dunk legend Mac McClung.
They drag him up to the NBA for one day.
Every
Like a-
year.
Like a circus pony. It's really sad. But yeah, Blake Griffin's retired.
Bucks are preparing
Legendary
to be without
legendary career.
Giannis.
Yeah.
Speaking of a
Giannis
legendary
got
player.
hurt, so I don't know. We'll see how long that is.
Bucks and 6.
Yeah, Bucks and 6.
Bucks and 6.
Regardless.
Bucks and 6.
Bucks
regardless.
and 6.
Better than T-Wolves.
Don't
T-Wolves
matter.
will fall
Light
back.
up the district. Deer District, it's a place to be for Bucks playoff games.
Rocket
It is nice.
GM.
It is so nice.
It looks very nice.
Rockets GM extended to a multi-year deal, and Suns Kevin Young named BYU head coach.
Yeah, there's been a sort of coaching carousel. They finally got the BYU coach to take the Kentucky job, if I remember right. So obviously, this was bound to be. You're getting an associate
yeah,
NBA head coach and now lead BYU.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they can beat Duquesne next year and not lose in the first
I
round.
mean, what was it? Kentucky's opening was not welcomed by Chicago Bulls head coach Billy Donovan.
No,
they look.
They took a surprising long time to fill someone for Kentucky of all spots.
No, that's fair. I mean,
And
and a bunch
Calipari
of,
going to Arkansas.
yeah, and a few of their players hit the transfer portal. I think there was a
Yeah.
decommit of like a.
There were several
ranking
decommits.
but
Yeah, they lost a
yeah.
lot of guys over that. Because, it's Calipari, but
Well,
him
yeah.
going to Arkansas is interesting. That makes me think there's something deeper. Because
Who's-
Arkansas is not a
what-
better basketball.
Who's the other Arkansas coach? Bobby Petrino, Mr.
Petrino.
Yeah, Petrino Calipari duo.
Yeah, Petrino was a legend in the headlines for his own reasons.
For some reason.
Don't worry about it. Kids, don't look it up.
Yeah,
Don't
don't Google it.
don't Google that.
And that finally brings us to the reason we brought this tall-molded man onto the studio. It is NHL playoff season. We're in the middle of Stanley Cup
Logan, you want
playoff
to make
craze.
In the middle.
thumbnail real quick? Just do. Yeah.
Take it away.
All right, for all you hockey fans at home, on campus, off campus, wherever you might be, it is NHL playoff season. Game starts Sunday, so we haven't quite started the playoffs yet. We're at like games 81 and 82. But we have a lot of clinches. We have one playoff spot still open in the Eastern Conference. That really comes down
is
to
that
today.
team?
So we'll cover that real quick. Right now, the Washington Capitals hold that second wild card spot in the East. If they win tonight, it's clinched. Then the playoffs are set. We know who's in. We don't quite know who's playing who. We know a few. For example, we know right now that the Carolina Hurricanes are going to be playing New York's second team, the New York Islanders. The New York Rangers have won the President's Cup. meaning that they had the best regular season record. Do not count on them in the playoffs whatsoever. The President's Cup
Not
curse.
a good track record.
Not at all. The last time a President's Cup trophy winner won the Stanley Cup was the shortened 2012-2013 season when it was won by Chicago Blackhawks.
I didn't know that was coming.
2 goals, 17 seconds.
A moment of silence for all those who remember the 2012-2013 season and wish to return.
Let's see, who else has clinched the playoffs besides the Rangers, the Islanders, and the Hurricanes? We have the Boston Bruins, shock to no one. The Florida Panthers, team on the up and coming. The
Really
Toronto
good year.
Maple Leafs.
Will they actually get somewhere this year, or are they going to let their fans down again? 'Cause
I
this
think
seems
they're
to be
going to
the
let
thing
their
with
fans
Toronto.
down again. Listen,
They can't break this long.
last year was the first year in almost 20 years that the Toronto Maple Leafs made it past the first round.
Yeah.
I'm never going to bet on the Maple Leafs in the first round until if they go 19 years of making it past the first round, maybe.
Then
But
you'll believe it.
every series in the 2010s with Boston, they had I think it was like a 3-1 lead on Montreal in that 2021 playoff season.
Legendary
Lost
choke.
it.
Legendary
Seriously.
choke.
There are 3 things in life that you can always bet on: death, taxes, and the Toronto Maple Leafs losing in the first round. There we go.
Right. Well said, well said.
Well said,
As well
said.
as the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're also in the playoffs. But as a wild card, that's a pretty quick fall from grace from going back to back.
Or do you think?
Top
Or do you think
team.
this is sort of like a New York Giants move, where it's not where you finish the regular season, but where you finish the postseason?
That is a great point. But truly, when Tampa Bay was really at that back-to-back state, they were unstoppable. Really, not quite President's Cup, but truly an unstoppable force. They did win their Stanley Cups. One in that COVID year and one in that after COVID year. It's a little weird, but they made it back to the Stanley Cup final, losing to Colorado the year after that. So truly, Tampa Bay is and still is a very good team, but in that wild card spot, the Eastern Conference is getting very competitive.
Yeah.
And that LTIR is not going to work anymore. The team that's kind of working for the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's lead that back into the Western Conference.
Hey.
They got Tomas Hertl at the trade deadline. Mark Stone's going to be back for the playoffs, but they're currently a second wild card, I believe. That's not super
Not
familiar
where they wanna be.
territory for the Vegas Golden Knights. But here's who's in the Western Conference playoffs right now. You got the Dallas Stars. You got the Vancouver
Baller.
Canucks. You got the
Baller.
Winnipeg Jets. You got the Colorado Avalanche. You've got the Edmonton Oilers. You got the Los Angeles Kings. You've got the Nashville Predators, who are really hot coming into March and April. We'll see if they can continue that playoff success. And as I mentioned, the Vegas Golden Knights. West is locked up. East has one more spot opened up. Just to give some depth for you betting fans at home.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you pointing at me? This is my cue? Oh, shoot.
No, it's not your cue.
That's not your cue.
So we know that the Jets are going to be taking on the Avalanche. It's going to be a very good match. It's going to be one of the matchups to look out for. Colorado's still a very good team. You got a generational defenseman in Cale Makar. You've still got Nathan McKinnon. Winnipeg, you've got a very good goalie in Connor Hellebuck. You've got very good players. You got a very good team there. That is a matchup to look at. Got to give a shout out to the Canada Life Center up in Winnipeg. When they're in the playoffs, it is Winnipeg whiteout, and that place goes crazy. Never been there to experience it in person, but I've heard it goes crazy. If you're going to take my opinion, I'm going to go Colorado in 6. I think that's probably the safest bet you can make. The number 1 spot for who's going to have home advantage in the Western Conference isn't quite set. Could it be Dallas? Could it be Vancouver? We'll see. All I'm going to say is another bet. Do not bet on a Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup final. It's been
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time since a Canadian team. I think it's been 30 years since a Canadian team
I'll
has
check
won a Stanley Cup. I think the last time that a Canadian team made the finals was technically 2021.
1993. The
1993.
Canadians themselves.
30 plus years.
It's
that
been
the
a long time.
Canadians have not won a Stanley Cup.
Many
the last
people
time.
who are out there owning homes right now have gone their entire life without seeing it happen.
Yep. That is very true. In the current playoff matchups, as we see it, Boston's going to be taking on Tampa Bay. That should be a good series. You have the Florida Panthers taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's going to be a
Very
good series.
Good series.
Good redemption. Last year when the Maple Leafs fans made it past the first round for the first time in 20 years, congratulations.
Yay.
They're like, we want Florida, and Florida beat them
want
in
Florida.
5 games.
Not to mention, that's also very diverse spots. I mean, it's going to be
That is-
insane home crowds.
you're
'cause these
going-
are about as different directions as you get on
You're
the
going
map.
South Beach, you're going the 6, 2 different spots. It's crazy.
time.
And then you've got the President's Cup winning New York Rangers facing the currently, this could change as of today, Washington Capitals. A good rivalry matchup to start the playoffs, but I don't see the Capitals getting too
Do you
far
like
there.
any team's odds against the Rangers? If it's Red Wings, Capitals, Flyers, or does it not matter who goes
okay.
against the Rangers?
See, I think that the Rangers can get past the first round. I really do.
Yeah.
Really?
Especially when you got a second wild card and it's coming down to this point. All the teams are competitive. Detroit, I grew up to hate Detroit. I really did. I really did.
What's wrong with Detroit?
Chicago. He's a Chicago fan.
Chicago.
What is it?
Original 6. Conference realignment screwed up that rivalry. But growing up as a Blackhawks fan, I've always got a soft spot in my heart for good old number 88, Patrick Kane. Showtime. And he's on Detroit right now. That was a betrayal I was not ready for at all. So if the Red Wings go to the playoffs, please no, I'm not rooting for the Red Wings. I'm rooting for Patrick Kane.
Patrick Kane.
So I can make an
That's Matthew
exception.
Stafford kind of rooting for.
Yeah, this guy gets it.
Yep.
I think.
He goes, I think.
Crazy.
See, I feel like the Red Wings could put up a good fight. You got another Original 6 rivalry. The Capitals, again, you've got that New York DC rivalry right there. Pittsburgh, a lot has to go right for Pittsburgh that I just don't think is going to go right. So
Pittsburgh's was a lot, and then the Flyers was a lot.
The Flyers have to win tonight, and Detroit has to lose in regulation. Detroit's playing Montreal. Detroit's going to win that game. So it's really up to Washington to beat the Flyers for them
Pittsburgh,
to solidify.
you want to
it.
hear the situation? Pittsburgh needs 90. That's their max. So if they finish tied with the Caps and Wings at that total or 89, then they're in thanks to the regulation win tiebreaker. That's tough. And then Phillies is even worse. Philly needs to beat the Caps in regulation, and the Wings and Penguins must lose both in regulation, giving all of them 89 and the Penguins 88, meaning the Wings would be out due to the tiebreaker, and the Caps and Flyers would go to a 5th tiebreaker. So where they have to go all of this, but then the greater goal differential, Philly would win by.
That is crazy.
So Philly would need 5 tiebreakers to finally decide it, but they would also need everybody to lose and them to win.
That's like 3 coin flips, a rock, paper, scissors, and guess the number behind my back.
That's
right
like
there.
trying to win blackjack 7 times in a row. That's what it is.
Let's move to the Western Conference.
Hey, that's how you become rich right there.
We're going to move into the best of the West. We've got the Dallas Stars taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. The Winnipeg Jets taking on the Colorado Avalanche. As we mentioned, it's kind of the playoff series to watch. The Canucks going to take on Nashville, and Edmonton taking on Los Angeles. That's a rematch of one of the playoff series last year. Should be a good one to watch. You got Edmonton. You've got Connor McDavid. You got Leon Draisaitl against Los Angeles. You know, you got bright lights, big city. You've got Hollywood names there. I'm probably going to still stick with Edmonton. Vancouver, Nashville. Vancouver's been a very good team all year. Vancouver, like, top down. Vancouver, good team. You've got Quinn Hughes.
Is there a
You've
goalie
got-
back?
What goalie? Thatcher Demko?
Yeah. Dem goes back or no?
I think so.
I thought so.
I'd imagine so.
If he's back, they've got a good shot. If he's not, they might be in some trouble.
You've got Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, and Brock Besser. That alone is enough right there. But Nashville is not a team to count out. I'm going to have to go with Vancouver in 6 here. Nashville is a very good team. They got really hot. You've still got great players. You've got Ryan O'Reilly. You've got UC Saros. You've got Kevin Lankinen in backup. You've got Philip Forsberg. You have Roman Josi.
He's penciled the start tonight.
Pencil it.
There you go. That's a good
Pencil it in.
answer.
Shout out to Andre the Kuzmeister Kuzmenko for being on Vancouver at one point to not being on Vancouver anymore. To kind of get the Stanley Cup winner, that's always hard to say. We're going to write off New York just right away.
Presidential Cup doesn't go well. I think you got to
President's
write
Cup.
off all the Canadian teams. So
We're
that's
writing
gonna
off all the
knock out-
Canadian teams.
it's
So
gonna knock out
goodbye,
Toronto.
Winnipeg. Goodbye, Toronto. Goodbye,
Vancouver.
That's
Gone.
right.
Goodbye, Edmonton.
Goodbye,
Gone.
Edmonton.
So there's 5 teams gone, just like that.
There's 5 teams gone just like that. Stanley Cup champion.
Dropping fast.
I'm going out on a limb here. We're going to say the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know, but something says the storm is brewing just right for Carolina. They've still got Stahl. They have a good rookie goalie in Peter Kochetkov. But we all know the best rookie in the league is
You
Connor
know who I
Bedard.
think they meet? I think they beat Dallas.
I think they beat Dallas. That's a good
I think they
matchup.
beat
Carolina, Dallas, a battle of Southern hockey.
Dallas has been strong all year long.
Dallas has been strong all year long. That is very true. They got Jason Robertson. They've got Scott Wedgwood. They have Jake Ottinger. They have Dallas, another good top-down organization.
Not to mention you're playing the second wild card team. When it comes to Stanley Cup, you want to be rested, so you want these series to get over fast.
Of course,
So you
of
got to look
course.
at that too. So I think that helps them.
While we're at it, we're going to touch on some other hockey news before we get back to my buddy Logan over here. Arizona, hockey in the desert.
I was gonna bring it
the
up.
The plug has been pulled. Ladies and gentlemen, after years on life support and in hospice care,
Years of pleads for all
years,
hockey fans
years
to move to somewhere that
after
has
playing
ice.
in a 5,000-person college arena in Tempe,
And
Arizona.
not even selling out.
And not even selling out.
That's the worst part.
The Arizona Coyotes plug has been pulled. They will be moving to Salt Lake City, Utah. Nothing is confirmed, but that is the belief. The NHL executive board has voted on the move. The players have been informed internally that they will be moving to Salt Lake City, Utah.
They did in the worst way, too. Like, they didn't just straight pull the plug like, St. Louis moving. They said, we have a stadium in Arizona. Whole venue they're ready to buy out. And then, like, 2 days later, they're like, oh, yeah, no, we're gone. We're going to Utah.
Yeah, we're going to Utah.
They're like, look at this nice stadium. Never mind.
We don't have the mock-ups, but welcome to the league, the Salt Lake City Mormons. It's a buy one. So, men, buy one ticket. Your 6 wives get in for free.
Oh my
jeez.
God.
The jokes are already flowing.
Nah,
Man,
nah,
I am
nah.
not reading the Instagram
Hey,
comments.
hey.
Another shout-out to
Goodbye.
local hockey at this point. The Fargo Force, best team in the United
Bang.
States Hockey League.
50 wins. Most
50
in all.
piece.
That's what I would call it.
Season. We're too good. 50
I don't think I
wins.
can say that in the program.
You cannot say that in the program. With that said, the Fargo Force playoffs action starts this weekend, possibly Friday, definitely Saturday, maybe Monday. We never know.
We're
But
waiting on everybody
students,
else.
students, $5 student tickets for the
$5.
playoffs. $5. You remember a
Not even
day?
supposed to-
You remember a day when you go into Subway and get a foot-long sandwich for
$5
$5?
footlong.
You can't do that anymore. But you can go to a hockey game for $5. That is a pretty good deal right there.
Not to mention, not going to be a nice weekend. Supposed to be 38
True.
Friday, 50
Five.
on Saturday, 58 Monday.
True, the real
What are you gonna
storm
do
is going to
outside?
be at the Shields Arena, where you're going to cheer on your Fargo Force as they make their way to a Clark Cup championship.
Hey,
Real talk, though, 38 and Friday. I thought we were done with this.
I know, right?
We're not. Last weekend
No.
was the good weekend for outdoor sports.
You're
Shout out to the Northern Pike that I caught.
Shout out to the Northern Pike I caught.
Where's the
Good to
Northern
know I
Pike
can still
you
catch
caught?
fish. It's
I
been a
got
drought.
none.
I was on a fishing
This
drought.
guy.
I was getting worried, dude. I was like, can I catch?
Second cast of the
I
day,
catch.
man. I'm not complaining. I think that's about it for hockey news right now. So we're
Yeah.
gonna head it back to MLB news. Hit a home run with this one, Logan.
Actually, I got one more question with you.
Oh, you do.
All right, I got to bring the matchups back up. Let's say you can only watch one playoff matchup first round. Which one are you picking and why?
Winnipeg,
Everybody
Colorado. It's pretty evenly matched there. You've got the absolute aspect, the playoff atmosphere. I'm going to give my points to Winnipeg there. The whiteout. Winnipeg has had some ticket selling issues. So Winnipeg, if you need a ticket salesman, please take my resume.
Got to get this self plug in.
I
I'll
don't
get
want to
this
move to
out
Canada though.
You got a matchup, Vinny?
I
At all?
got nothing.
You got nothing?
He doesn't
I
have
got
anything,
That's
but
fair.
truly, that the playoff atmosphere at the Canada Life Center, it is going to be top to bottom, packed in white. Opponents have said it is one of the worst environments to play in during the playoffs.
Jets don't typically have this good of a season, do they?
No, the Jets are typically a solid.
Solid?
They'll contend for the Central Division, but they won't contend for the Cup.
This might be their best run I remember.
This
them
could be
having.
a close run for them. But Colorado, they've got the roster, the Ball Arena in Denver.
Yeah.
Mile high hockey.
Tough matchup.
Either way, you can't go wrong. It's probably my matchup to watch in the East because we're going to do this fairly. Florida, Toronto. I just want to see Toronto lose, and I want all of you to enjoy in the losing of the Toronto Maple Leafs because I don't like them. So
Yeah,
ni hao, Austin Matthews.
mine's pretty easy. I'm going to go Bruins and Lightning in the East. You
that's a good
have
one.
the
That's a
best
really good
team in the Bruins going up against probably one of the best dynasties as of late in the Lightning. A little bit on a downslope if you're the Lightning, but if there's a time to rebound, time is the postseason. Lot of eyes on that game. If I'm watching a game, I'm watching that, and then I'm going to also go kind of stick with that trend and go Stars and Golden Knights. I think Golden Knights being the second wild card seed is surprising.
It is.
I think you could see them really pull a sneaky one or two, and then of course the Stars have been, in my opinion, one of the best teams to watch all year. The other matchups are good, but I believe that this is just this has the most just intrigue and potential for me, being that you're looking at two former Stanley Cup champions being wild card teams.
Truly, you're not wrong with that. And I mean, with that, Vegas has only missed the playoffs once in their 6 years as a team. Only
That's
once. That's
really
that's pretty
impressive
crazy.
for a new team.
That's pretty crazy. And this guy hasn't said anything about a match.
I don't know anything about hockey. This is your part, my boy. This is your part.
Vinny will quite literally write, "Who cares?" for hockey.
I do write that. No, I actually did that in the NBA. That's the part.
Nas Reed.
Nah,
Nas Reed.
Well, one sport we do care about right now as well. Not that we don't care about hockey, but
baseball.
we're getting more into the baseball sport.
Hey, this one
True.
It's getting warmer out.
I can do. This one I can do.
You want to talk about it? Jackson Holiday
Jackson
debut.
Holiday debut, and it went.
Not that great stat wise.
It was bad.
How he carried himself wise, I guess well, but struck out twice. Not that great. Didn't have
Oh
a sack
my God.
fly though.
Yeah,
They get a run
Team
in.
player.
Anytime
Team
you get a
player.
ribby, pretty good.
team player.
He's still looking
Big
for
time.
his first home run. He only has stepped on him.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, everybody at home. I stepped on the mic.
Unbelievable.
Actually, no, the clip just straight came out.
Hey,
so.
that's a mic drop. That's a mic drp. Yes.
Is it a mic drop?
That's a mic drop.
Is it a mic drop if the hardware literally just gives out? Like it
We're-
just falls right through?
Where's our back person?
I don't know.
It's all right.
But if we're going to be talking about stepping on things, Ozzy Albies should not be stepping on anything. He fractured his toe, which I don't know. I don't know how
The
bad
big
that
toe.
is.
Actually,
The big toe. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That of all toes to fracture, that's not a good
No,
one.
not a good
I mean,
toe.
it could be like getting poked in the eye in basketball, and you're just going to be sitting on the floor for like. You poke me in the eye, I will punch you.
Pope. Whoa,
No.
Pope Pierce. Easy there. Malice of the Palace on the set.
Easy.
Ron Artest.
Easy.
Shout out.
And then, of course, we have another top prospect getting called up in Rangers pitcher Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter.
Leader.
Is he
coming out.
related to L Leiter at all?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I got see.
But Jackson Robinson Day was yesterday, and John Sterling, Yankees.
He is.
radio
He's the
voice.
son of Al Leiter. Look at that. Let's give it up. Logan knows baseball. I know ball. I know
Model
ball.
citizen. Model citizen.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you.
He knows ball.
The former number 2 overall pick will start against the Tigers on Thursday. Gonna have to wait a little bit.
It's 2 days.
Well, yeah.
By the time this episode's out, it's
Hey,
probably
2
gonna be
days is a
tomorrow.
long time in the sports world. 2 days is a long time.
Hey, I'm not gonna.
So what do we think? Do we think he's gonna do well?
Let's see here. Can we pull up his minor league numbers real quick?
I can get those up for you.
Also,
appreciate that.
shout out to the umping. It's already in mid-season form right now.
Angel
It's
Hernandez,
horrible.
my guy.
Holy crap, dude.
My guy, Angel Hernandez. You see the ads for like America's Best for Pearl Vision. Just hit him up one time.
It's so bad.
While we're looking up these stats, I'd like to take this time to give a quick shout out to the NDSU club rugby team for their huge win over the Bemidji State Angry Beavers this weekend. And this weekend, you got a huge tournament coming up. It's the last one on the original NDSU rugby field. Pop out April 20th, Saturday. Good time. We're playing South Dakota State. We're playing St. Thomas. Big rivalry game. We're playing for our own Dakota marker. If that's crazy to believe. Rugby has a Dakota marker. Come and see it Saturday, 10 a.m. at the rugby field. It's a good time. Really great time.
And umpire Brandon Miller missed 10 calls in the first 4 innings.
Vinny, this is
And
Brennan.
Brandon Miller missed
He's not
10
good with
calls in the first 4 innings. and
Was it
9 again.
Hernandez who called the 3 straight strikes?
Wait,
on,
this way? Yeah.
what's his name from the Rangers? I can't remember the name right
It was
now.
Adolis Garcia.
way outside.
No, it was not Garcia. It was
Cedar?
the young prospect. Wyatt Langford.
Chase Young?
That's the
No.
one. Wyatt Langford.
Wyatt Langford, okay.
You got called for 3 straight strikes. I think the closest one was 7 inches off the plate.
Yeah, it's horrible.
They moved
So,
him through the system
Leader's
quick.
a little bit rough in everything but college. In the minors through 3 seasons, he's 6-17, 5.95 ERA, or no, 5.25 ERA. But in college, he was 13-4, 2.08 ERA. His spring training this year, not the best, not the worst, 4.26 ERA. Has 2 losses to his name. He gave up 11 hits for 6 runs in 12 and 2/3 of an inning. 3 home runs, walked 5, but he did get 8 strikeouts. So I think reasonable. I'd expect 3-4 strikeouts, maybe like a 5-inning showing.
Oh, yeah.
Gives
we'll,
up 3-4
innings.
runs.
Yeah.
We'll
I
go
think
5
that'd
in
be
the
fair.
3rd inning.
5
5 in the 3rd
So
inning.
he can get the winner or loss.
Five
I'd say
earned
he'd give up
runs.
4 or 5 runs.
Yeah, we're going to go 5 earned runs at that.
Yeah.
We'll say, I don't know,
Well, it's the
7 hits
Tigers.
sound
It might be
reasonable?
4 runs.
Actually,
3,
yeah,
4 runs.
yeah.
I'm maybe 3.
The Tigers actually aren't too bad this year.
It's either going to be a couple runs and a lot of hits, or a lot of runs and about the same amount of hits.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to
Yeah.
get shelled for like 15 hits or something crazy.
Now, if he was up against the White Sox, he would be cruising.
No, it was White Sox. He'd be 12 Ks.
We'll be
Yeah.
fine.
We wouldn't be talking.
You'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
the best pitcher
Exactly.
ever.
But yeah.
Exactly.
Then, of course, Jackie Robinson Day was yesterday. Kind of cool to always see all the players wear 42. Me,
Someday
a big
we'll all
MLB
be
The
up
Show
there.
player, I get to actually get more content in my game, so that's kind of fun.
That's awesome. That really is.
It's a good
The
time.
first.
It's important to everyone, you know? And then, of course, John Sterling, the Yankees legendary radio voice, retired at 85. I don't know about you fellas, but I would love to do a job that I love at 85.
I would too.
That is very true.
Sit there and talk sports all day? It's not a bad gig.
Not a bad
That's
gig.
true. Someday we'll all
I
be
mean,
wearing
I would
uniforms,
like
Isn't
to
that what we're doing
retire
right now?
before
That's what
85
we're doing
years
right
old.
now.
I think you'd like to retire before 30.
Yeah, that too.
The sooner I can retire and do what I want to do the rest of my life, the better. Like, if I can be quote-unquote retired, that's the goal. You don't
very
stop working when you're retired. You just start
Right.
doing what you want to
You
do.
just will do
Yeah.
what, you got the FU
That's
money.
what it is.
That's what you got.
Do you have that money, Vinny?
Not yet.
No, you don't.
No.
Vinny's hoping that a pharmaceutical company passes its trials.
Yeah.
That's Vinny's way to get
I
his
got
money.
3K on there. On the line.
It's a lot. Well, it said bets of the week. We're going to talk about our stock investments of the
Yeah,
week.
stock investments of the week.
Basically, it's
This
just
is not ESPN, no
it's just-
trademark.
It's just financial betting. It's just a chess version of betting. It's like when you talk to someone, they're like, "Oh, he plays video games." You're like, "Oh, what a nerd!" But it's like he plays chess. How sophisticated? It's like the same thing. You got any other thoughts? It's pretty much concludes it for today. Any major news before we close coming out? We've had this happen several times last week. As soon as we get off the air, something major happens.
Rugby, Saturday, be there.
Or B squared. Ha ha ha.
What about force?
Fun? Yeah. We have to force game.
Little
more.
twofer, rugby tournament, Fargo Force, blackout theme, first 1,000 fans, blackout
shirt.
T-shirt,
What's
$5 student tickets.
the deets on rugby? Where'd we go? What time?
Oh, I mentioned this earlier when you were looking up.
we gotta give it
But
again.
yeah, of course we gotta give it again. 10 a.m. is the first NDSU match. We're playing South Dakota State. It's gonna be over at the rugby fields over by the track and field area. If you kind of know
that
where
new
like,
engineering
Cater
building
Harbor-
is.
Yeah, not the new. Yeah, no, the Ag Research Building.
The egg research one?
It's kind of near the Welly. So
Yeah,
like
that's that new engineering building. That one they just put up.
the one they like built really quickly.
Yep.
That's an Ag Research Building.
Whatever it is.
Beyond the point, that's not where rugby is going to be, because it's going to be at the fields over across on the track and field area, down the road from the new Ag Research
If
Building.
you live on campus and you drive towards the Welly and you take a right, you'll go right by it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nope.
Yeah.
Basically, the route you would take to get to Taco Bell.
Yeah,
Taco Bell.
yes.
That you'll
Yes.
see it on your left.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
near the Research Park. Be there. It's going to be a great time. Last game on the original Lost Boys field. Come out and support your NDSU Lost Boys. It's going to be a great time.
You guys are lost.
Yeah, see, it's a funny story how we got that name, actually.
Yeah.
So we go to tournaments. We're an old team. I think we're around 1976 is when we were founded. And we drive to Minnesota for tournaments. And, the night before, there's some studying would be done. A lot of studying would be done. So much so that people studied so much that we'd be looking for them in the morning to go to the tournament, and we couldn't find them. They'd be lost. We'd call
Were they studying at the bars, perchance?
them. Maybe.
Maybe, possibly.
Possibly.
That's the best way to study.
That is
drink
the
in
best
your
way to
hand.
study.
It is.
But yeah, we'd call them and be like, "Where are you?" And they'd be like an hour away. They're lost boys.
Lost boys.
It's a good story.
It is a great
my
story.
My
Lost
grandpa's
boys.
got some good stories. Of that.
Every rugby team has to have a reason why they're called that.
Every good dad or grandpa has a couple of stories about how either them or one of their buddies ended up 3 hours away because they either fell asleep or blacked out and they didn't know where they went. One of my buddies has a story. He went to Vegas and he ended up in the desert. He woke up the next day. Had no clue he got there.
And
That's
they
what
left
wake up
them
is.
in the ocean.
It's a good way to go.
Amen to that one.
But
Well, is it about that time?
I think it's about that time.
I think it is about that time.
If you are underage, please do not study at the bar.
Yeah, that's adult studying.
That's
like
adult
real
studying.
adult
Yeah.
studying.
Otherwise, big time for sports.
Big
We've got the
time.
draft 10 days away. We've got Stanley Cup playoffs starting this weekend. We've got Fargo Force playoffs starting this weekend. We've got NBA playoffs starting within a week at least.
I think playing tournaments like today.
I think
or something.
playing tournaments today and tomorrow. The actual playoffs kick off this weekend. Everything's in playoff season or draft season.
Bang, bang, bang.
It's good time.
Hey,
Full
stay
season in
tuned
swing.
next week because we have a special episode for the NFL draft at Herd
Yeah,
Horns.
we do. That's going to be that Thursday.
Yep, first.
So next Tuesday is going to be normal. We'll still be here. We'll be
Tuesday.
We'll be cramming the draft, everything draft for that because it's 2 days before. And then on Thursday, we're going to be on site for round one.
Bam.
I'm gonna have to join you guys for that.
Yeah. Just swing on by, bring a drink, bring your friends.
What's up,
It's going
brother?
to be very
Just
relaxed.
Water.
us.
We're going to have, I don't care. We're gonna
Yeah,
drink
if you want to
whatever
meet the crew at Bison Overtime, head over to
He will be
Horns.
signing
Horns,
autographs.
Yeah, I will. I will. If someone wants me to sign an autograph, who am I
some
to
meet
say
and
no?
greet, some signatures, whatever. But we will be at Herd Horns at draft night that day.
We're going to be there early, probably like 6:30
Maybe
at the earliest.
6:30, because we get
Just to
off
get
of-
set up and rolling.
We gotta eat first, We gotta get that Herd Horns food.
It's going to be a big night.
yeah, well.
Busy.
For real.
Bingo night, too. gonna be
Bingo
packed.
night.
We're going to get a lot of
Gotta go
participation.
play some bingo.
Do we?
We could
We could.
You could. You don't have
play
to,
some
but you
bingo while we wait for the #1 draft pick in the NFL draft. I don't
could.
know.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it's going to be Caleb. You're a Chicago guy, right?
I am actually.
You think they're
yeah.
drafting anybody at all besides Caleb before we cut it?
If you didn't, it would have to be like a.
This is a Connor
You remember the
Bedard
movie?
for NFL.
You remember the draft day? The movie Draft Day.
Of course I do. It's
Yeah,
one of my
Vontae Mack, no matter what.
No matter what, it's crazy.
That's what the Bears are gonna draft. Vontae Mack. Rip Chadwick Boseman.
Now we're done.
All right. See you later. This
We
is
out.
Done takes.
Fonte Mac, no matter what, baby.
Vontae Mack, no matter what.
Dumb takes.
Drink responsibly.